Howdy, y'all. I'm going to discuss something here real shortly. Been a decision I've been looking into making for quite a while. Uh, Ever since I came back to fish in the fall of 2016, more serious, I've been thinking about it. I kind of got started on it, got sidetracked, and work and all other things are getting in the way. So I started looking at bass boats again. So we're going to talk about that in just a minute. I'll be right back. You're watching Hickbilly Fishing. Buying a bass boat, that's a process. Background wise, though, I am no new person as far as when it comes to boats and motors. I fished semi-pro for a lot of years, fished tournaments for over 20 years. I sold boats for almost 20 years. I sold brand new bass boats, sold used bass boats, a bunch of them. I started rigging boats, my first job in the marine industry in 1987. Back then, you hung a motor on a boat, there was no marks, no lines, not even a center mark. You had to measure it and drill it, and it was scary because you couldn't screw up. So, I've been around boats for a long time. I've set boats up for speed handling, performance, all that. I'm done with all that. So, I started in December, the end of December, looking into seriously buying maybe a brand new bass boat. Let me preface this. I don't want a used boat. I don't want a 10 or 15 or 20-year-old used boat with the prices they bring. Except, I have a friend of mine has one he may sell. He'll decide sometime this month, and his decision will then tell me what I'm going to do. There's advantages to buying a boat from this man, because for one thing, I know the boat. It's very low hour. It's a very nice boat. It's a great platform for me to build on, update, make what I want. But I still have to look. So I started the process of researching boats. I don't know it all, and things have changed since since 2001, last time I fished a semi-pro tournament. Things have changed. The boats have changed some, motors have changed a bunch, technology is just crazy. So, first off, I decided the boat that I want will have to be a 20-footer, not a 21, and I want a 200 horse motor on it, not a deuce and a half. You wouldn't impress a boat salesman going there and tell them you want less than what everybody else wants. They're not very impressed. Looked at 3 boats this past week. Monday, took a trip down to Table Rock Lake, and first time I ever laid my hands on a Phoenix. That was one of the 3 boats I decided I want to be serious about. My mind can be changed, but 3 boats I'm serious about. I haven't ridden any of these boats yet. I stood in one on the water the other day, but I don't have to drive them. Not really. So a Phoenix, some really good guys down there south of Springfield there. Guys I've known for a long time. Really nice product. Boat really looked good. Boat's built good. They're everywhere. My gosh, they're thick. I think they said they're building 30 boats a week. So, again, I priced a 20-footer with a 200, and not impressive to anybody except me. Speaking of not impressive, I'm a nobody. Ain't nobody remembers me that ever knew me to start with. I can tell people I sold boats for 20 years. Nobody cares. I just need to shut up. Except that I will know when things are trying to be pulled over on me, which hadn't really happened. I've had good discussions with everybody. The Phoenix, very nice boat. You get to look at a 20-footer. I saw some at the Lake of the Ozarks tournament the other day. Just look at it from a distance, but I'd already switched gears because I just get confused too easy. So, I then went to Lake of the Ozarks the other day to the Toyota Series tournament. And on the way down, I stopped at Boatworks in Osage Beach, Missouri, and went to look at bass cats, which they didn't have any in stock. Nobody's got boats in stock. Where everybody's gets their money from, I don't get that. There's no boats anywhere, and everybody's back ordered like crazy. Anyway, I got a brochure. I did get a price, roundabout price. It's all fair in love and war. I didn't price the cheapest boat, and it was priced to me the 250 because the young man couldn't find a way to price it with a 200. He said, "You know, if he could get it for me with a 200, yes, you can. Bass Cat will sell it to me whatever motor I want." Whew, I got a price though. So then I went down to Public Beach number 2, the ramp where the tournament was at, to hook up with a guy named Chris Williams. He is a rep for Blazer Boats. Blazer is a wild card in the bunch. Now Phoenix, I've never been in one, and they're a new company, but I had seen them. Fairly familiar. Bass Cat, I've known my whole life. I've sold used Bass Cats. I've fished in Bass Cats. And in all fairness, Bass Cat is the premium bass boat in the world. Nobody builds a better boat than a Bass Cat. Argue it all you want, I don't care. I know how they're put together. I've worked on them. You have to be a rocket scientist to get them tore apart. You can't. They're tough. They're built horribly, perfectly great. Luckily, most of these companies seem to be building better boats than what they did, especially in the 80s and 90s. So I got to look at a Blazer. I got to look at actually 3 or 4 Blazers because there's guys down there running them. And I got to climb in one and walk around. I was really impressed. I was impressed with the Phoenix. The Blazer was a shock. How stable. I thought it was an ultralight boat. It's not. Anyway, so I got to touch and feel 2 of the boats. And I said, I'm familiar with Bass Cat. But when you tell them you want a 20-foot or 200, they look at you like you got something they're going to catch. I don't know. I also priced the boats that I've priced so far. I've just priced 2 of them. And I'm waiting on a price to come back on the Phoenix. With 2 10-inch Garmins. I'm not going to put forward-seeking radar on it. I'm keeping it simple because that's what I am, and I catch plenty of fish that way. And I know it may hurt me competing in tournaments. That's a whole other video. It may hurt me. It will hurt me. Because everybody in that tournament down the other day, all the top guys was using forward-seeking sonar. And I'm not going to do it. Not go there now. That's just not what I'm going to do. There's things I want on a boat. As much as possible, I want like a C-deck flooring. I don't want carpet in the floor. Truthfully, I don't care if I have carpet anywhere in the boat, but, you know, that's just whatever. That's still coming. I'll have things like a cover, spare prop. It'll be a tandem axle trailer. I wouldn't have a 20-foot boat without having 4 tires underneath it. Most of these boats are coming rigged like they ought to be rigged. I mean, hydraulic steering and trim on the wheel. And a hot foot I can take or leave anymore. I mean, I used to swear by a hot foot. Most of them are coming standard with a hot foot. I think if they still make the bypass, you can use either throttle, that's the way to go. Simple. I like simple. But the price, I decided that I'll be 58 years old in less than 2 weeks. It's time to do this. And if I got to buy it, I got to buy it. If I got to spend the money, I'm going to spend some money. I'm not going to spend $85,000. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to have to liquidate some things. I'm going to borrow as little as I have to borrow. I'm going to sell my machine gun collection. I'm going to sell some old racing motorcycles I have. I'm going to sell some other guns. Stuff I don't ever see. I got some guitars I need to go ahead and just get rid of. I got guitars I haven't seen in 4 or 5 years. Good guitars. I'm gonna liquidate. Try to make all that happen in a few months' time. Machine guns are tricky. I'm not excited about this because a boat is just a tool for me. It's not delusion of grandeur. It's not a show-off thing. I could care less about purdy. I want functionality. That's why I didn't care about running a boat. I'm more interested in how a boat sits in the water, me sitting, walking around on it. That's fishabilities. And the ride, I heard some good things about riding this week from all 3 of these boats. Oh, and the other thing, in a kind of conundrum about is trolling motors. I was Minn Kota when Minn Kota wasn't cool. You write a song about me. I used Minn Kotas ever since high school. When I went to bass boats, I had one bass boat that had a motor guide for a while. As soon as I could, I swapped it out. So on the way to Grand Lake, Oklahoma to a Redman tournament, stopped at Bass Pro Shop, bought a new Minn Kota, and put it on the parking lot of the No-Tell Motel down there at Red 11 at Grand Lake. Minn Kota, way superior troll motor. They come out with pulse modulation for anybody. Everybody's copied off Minn Kota. All these new troll motors are clones. Minn Kota's patents run out, everybody jumped in. But, man, I got guys bragging on that Lowrance troll motor. And I heard good things about that Garmin too. I mean, bragging. So that's something I never would have thought of changing my mind on, but I can be convinced. I'm a hard-headed, maybe slow learner, but I can be convinced. So that's where I'm at. Nowhere. I'm waiting on my buddy on his boat to decide. If he decides, it'll be easy. I'll be buying a Bass Cat, a beautiful boat. I kind of hope he says no, because that means he's got some more fishing left in him. But if he doesn't say no, I'm just going to buy that one. It'll need some upgrades. Eventually, it's going to have some things done to make it my boat. But it's a beautiful boat, low-wire boat, and that'll be easy, and it'll be less money, of course. So there you go. I don't know why I'm talking about this in a video nobody's going to hardly watch, but it's a process. And right away, I got a friend of mine down here to say, 20-footer with a 200. You know who you are. I am also planning on doing some guiding again. I've had people ask me for 20 years to guide them. I guided a couple 3 years ago one day. I'm going to plan on doing some guiding again. As long as people don't mind me doing it without forward sequence radar in my boat. And I have to have the size of boat. I don't need a 250 horse motor. I don't need to go fast. I grew up around the late, great Guido Hibden. Guy was my hero, my mentor, my friend. Guy was a slowpoke on the lake. He was slowpoke fishing, slowpoke getting there, and nobody caught more bass than him a lot of times. I fish that way. I fish fast when I have to, and I run boats quick. Almost 58. I don't have to go fast. So, there you are. Thanks for watching this. There's just a handful of people going to see it. But it's a process I'm going through. I'm going to explain more maybe. I didn't take a camera with me and film the whole thing. That's a lot of that on the internet. I did use some of Ken Smith fishing, some of his stuff. He looked at, I don't know, 14, 16 bass boats the last couple of years, even before he decided on a Bass Cat. But he had money. I don't have any money. And I found out there's politics involved with that too. I'm not going to let no politics get involved with me. So there you go. Most impressed with the Blazer, but I got to get in it. I knew the Phoenix was a nice boat, and when I heard about it, everything is done right. And Bass Cats are Bass Cats. Ron and Rick Pierce did it forever. Rick's carried it on. Tremendous boats. Those are the three, and it would take a special situation for me to comprehend something else. It won't be a Ranger or a Nitro or a Charger. Thank you guys. I'm out of here. I got something else I'm going to do. I got to think about what it's going to be. Bye, y'all.